And this big oak tree has a bunch of little saplings that belong to it. They are all valley oaks. So it's going to show the live oaks that are living around it that it's got everything under control, and that when it eventually dies, these little ones here are going to take off, some of them, not all of them, but maybe like this one, it's getting really healthy and will grow to be old like this one and like its parent. And these trees are super old. They can live to be 400 years old. So if you want to put it in a historical perspective, some of these trees were this size 400 years ago in the year 1620 when the Pilgrims first came to America. This tree was probably a little one like that at that time. And now look at it. And it's old. It probably has fewer days ahead of it than it's had behind it. That's part of nature. But that's why there's so many young ones around it that are going to be growing up and in essence are being taken care of by this tree. But after a period of time, it's going to make too much shade and these won't be able to grow. So if when this tree dies, it'll allow more light in here to let these little ones take off. Now this is probably one of the most beautiful oak trees in Oak Park. And it's a valley oak, as you can probably tell. The live oaks don't get quite this big. And they don't twist around quite so much. So this is a magnificent tree. Probably 400 or maybe even 500 years old. So as you can tell, the dogs that are around me are wanting to explain about the oak tree also. It's just really beautiful. It's definitely worth the walk on this trail just to see this tree. Now, it's getting into the winter. Now this tree will lose its leaves in the winter time and will be bare and will act more like a traditional oak tree, and it will have its leaves come out fresh again in the spring. And this tree lives by setting a root down about 20 feet under the ground. And that's how it gets its water. Here's another live oak forest that we come across. Lots of young trees inside here and one big older one. We're going to end our walk here just by having a look and a rest by this beautiful stream by Medea Creek. Got a lot of water right here, and this water looks pretty clean. And I just thought I'd leave you with a couple of thoughts. Like, if you're interested in learning how to identify these plants, you learned a lot of them today, but you can get an app on your phone called Seek, S-E-E-K, or another one, if you're a little older, called iNaturalist. And those apps will help you. You can take a picture of the plant that you see, and then if you have a connection, or you can do it later, it'll tell you what kind of a plant it is or give you an idea. And then other people will look at it and see if you're right or not. So you're actually contributing to science by saying, oh, we have these plants living here. We didn't know that. And so you're helping every time you go out, and you can identify plants in Seek or iNaturalist. And if you're really interested in birds, there's another one called Merlin, like the magician. Merlin is a great app for doing birds, but you can use iNaturalist and Seek to also do birds and skinks and lizards and things like that we have around here. So there's ways. And the idea here is, I think on our walk today, is that you've learned something about observing nature. And anybody can do this. And it makes you into what we call a naturalist. So a naturalist looks at things and looks at them closely and tries to learn and observe through observation, basically, learn new things. And from that, we can determine more information about the natural world that's around us. And it's super easy to do. And you're really lucky that you live in Oak Park, because it's not named that for nothing. There are a lot of beautiful oak trees and scrub oaks and other kinds. And you can become an expert in the oak trees and the native plants of California just here in Oak Park. So I hope you'll enjoy doing some of this on your own. I'm going to explain an assignment in a minute. Now here's another interesting plant we haven't seen yet. This is called Toyon, T-O-Y-O-N, Toyon. And again, look at the seeds and berries that it's producing right now in the fall. Very beautiful time to be looking at these. But toyon is a plant that you will find along the creek, and you'll also find it in other parts of Oak Park and other parts of Southern California. It has, look at the leaves, they're really sort of jagged on the end. And then of course, at this time of the year, it produces these incredible berries or fruit. There's a big giant group of it here, which I hadn't seen yet on the trail today.